All right, so like we said yesterday, and we did, we're doing a little quiz today. So if you understand this stuff and the last two warm-ups and the stuff from last week, you'll be all right, okay? So if this stuff doesn't make sense, if you don't know what a converse, inverse, contrapositive, biconditional are, you want to pay attention, right? Uh, Again, if you need to come to the morning tutoring, you got to let me know because I got to write you a pass. And check Skyward, make sure you're doing low grades and missing grades. So headphones, please. Don't let everyone listening fully up here. So number one, a conditional statement we know is if then. So I used one for fun. Okay, if they are the Cowboys is my hypothesis. That they are America's team is my conclusion. So what would be the conditional, and still headphones, please. Okay. What would be the conditional statement? Which letter would you match it to? Letter D, or Dallas? No, I'm kidding. But it's if they are the Cowboys and they are America's team, you just put it in the same order. If then, so that's it. So conditional, letter D, that's it. Now, converse. What do we do with the two statements? Switch them, right? Like you're tying your Converse shoes. Switch them. Okay, so which letter matches for converse? B, if they are America's team, then they are the Cowboys. That's good. They switched the order. Okay. What about inverse? What happens to the statements for an inverse? Okay, you make them opposites, not. Okay, that's what inverse means, to invert or make opposite. So keep the same order, just put not. So which letter is the best? Letter A, if they are not the Cowboys, then they are not America's team. A, that's good. Okay. Contrapositive. What happens for a contrapositive? Okay, they're opposite with nots, and you switch the order. Okay, so which letter matches both of those changes? Okay, E. Cool. Now, not just because it's left over, but what's that special phrase that helps us know it's biconditional? If and only if. You'll see that right here. If and only if is for biconditional. So go ahead and put letter C right there. Okay. So that being said, you should be able to identify conditional, converse, inverse, contrapositive, biconditional. You should be able to write them. Okay. We've been doing that the last 2 days and the assignments from last week. Okay. Now, is everyone still looking up here? This is important for your quiz. Okay. You don't have to write this part down. Just look up here. Okay. Now, on the assignment from last week, you had to underline the hypothesis and circle the conclusion, right? So here's the statement. If I'm a teacher at B, then my name is B. What do I underline? What's the hypothesis in this statement? The first part. After if, that's what you underline. I'm a teacher at Lee. Okay? Again, you don't have to do it, but that's what I'm going to do. And the conclusion is after the then. So what am I going to circle? My name is Mr. G. Very good. Are you able to underline a hypothesis and circle a conclusion like that? Because you had to last week's assignment, and I'm showing you right now, and you're going to have to do it today, okay? Now, counterexample. Everyone hear me. A counterexample is a specific example that proves something false, right? Like if I said all the numbers are even. If it's a number, then it must be even. Well, that's false. I don't just say you're wrong. I say the number 3 proves you wrong. Because 3 is a number, but it's not even. Makes sense? Now, what's the counterexample of this statement? If I'm a teacher at Lee, then my name is Mr. G. What's the counterexample? Don't tell me there's other teachers. Name one. Give me a counterexample. Are all your teachers named Mr. G? Well, then name one. Miss Casey, okay, or who else? easier, I guess.
I don't know the teacher's name. It's if I'm being honest.
Okay, well, I appreciate your honesty. You know mine, Mr. G? One letter. All right. So, anyways, whoever your teacher is, if you didn't know, Miss Wash is next door, okay? I don't know y'all's teachers, I'll be honest, but Mr. Who? Okay, so there's, and he, you know what, he might be Mr. G if he wants to be too, right? We'll go with my next door neighbor, Miss Wash, since that's for sure different. Well, that's a counterexample, because she's not. Cool. Now, last thing at the bottom here. Here's some vocab you got to know. Now, technically, you have this vocab, your notes, your stuff. And I'm feeling like letting y'all use your notes today. Okay, so if you have the notes for this stuff, or you want to use your warm up, I'll even leave it on the board. Okay, this stuff can help you take your quiz today, right? But you actually have to know these words. So bisect. Everybody, what does bisect mean? What do you think? Cut in half. If you didn't know that, I'm telling you right now. Bisect means to cut in half, okay? Bisect, cut in half. Supplementary, when angles add up to how many degrees? 180. Does everyone know that? If not, I'm telling you right now, you gotta soak it up like a sponge. Supplementary adds up to 180. What is bisect? Cut in half. Supplementary angles add up to how much? 180. Okay. Collinear means points are in a what? In a line. Collinear, points are in a line. How many degrees does supplementary add up to? Bisect cuts in. Okay. And then a linear pair is a pair of angles that make a line. Linear pair. Pair of angles that makes a line. And they look like this. Check it out. I mean, that's ugly, but two angles right next to each other that make a straight line. Imagine that straight. Okay? Perpendicular. Y'all know what that means? How many degrees do the perpendicular lines make? Say what? How many degrees?
Oh.
Like it makes right angles. How many degrees is that? 90-degree angles, okay? It looks like this. Little 90-degree angle. Y'all know what intersect means? Crossing, hopefully. Adjacent. We went over that the first week of class. Adjacent means next door, right? Miss Wash, next door to me is adjacent. Again, these are words that you're supposed to know, okay? But again, adjacent is next to each other. Intersect, crosses, perpendicular makes 90 degrees. Linear pair makes a straight line. Collinear points in a line. Supplementary adds up to 180. Bisect cut in half, okay? So that's a little refresher on that. All right, I'm going to pass up these quizzes. Do your best. When you're done, it's tempting to just chill and veg out. Check. You may, at that point, pull out your phone, check Skyworks, see if you have any missing work. Anything that's a 1 is missing, you got to do it. Anything that's below 70, you can fix it. And we'll be going over the tests tomorrow. I know that's been taking a while. People are still finishing them up.